Welcome back to Two Marks and a Spark. Night of Champions was yesterday. We did not record yesterday because I was at work. I watched this show this morning,
What do you
but
think?
Russ, the first thing I want to talk about actually, thank goodness, SmackDown is going back to 2 hours.
Yes. That is
Nightma-
something I'm very thankful to also for also.
the nightmare is over. Folks, in case you have not been keeping up, for as long as SmackDown has been 3 hours, which has been almost a year now, the second hour of SmackDown has been regularly unwatchable.
Yeah, it just is full of a whole lot of
Nothing.
well, I won't say nothing out of respect for the wrestlers that get stuck in that time period, but programming that they deem to be inconsequential, filler. It's not like they had all these urgent storylines they had to fill up that extra hour with. Otherwise, they would have done it.
Well, speaking of shows that are 3 hours that didn't need to be, Night of Champions.
It was padded out a little bit, was it not? For
A
six
little,
matches.
a little.
I felt
This
like
show could
that.
have been 2 hours.
Yeah. What do you think was the worst example of a match that went on too long?
Most definitely Jade Cargill and Asuka. And that wasn't even that long. That was
Yeah.
only 8.5 minutes.
Well,
That was only 8.5 minutes. And that felt like it went on forever. Because
believe
everything on
me.
this show did that.
Hey, you think it was bad for you? Just think how bad it was for somebody who's actually a Jade Cargill fan and was hoping for a good showing in her push, you know. And I'm thinking, oh man,
I really like Asuka.
I
And
love Asuka. Asuka's one of my all-time favorites, and I'm very glad she won.
what
I mean, I'm very glad. Pardon me. I'm very glad she had a good showing, but that
she
was
tried.
all her. You know, she really did her best, and we're getting to that one first because it was the worst match. We'll deal with that one right away. And I was disappointed. You know, at the end of the match, Jade looked like she was really blown up bad, and she also appeared to be reacting to pressure from the crowd a little bit. You know,
Worth noting, the crowd was not particularly into this match.
no, they
Uh,
were kind of hostile toward her.
uh, they they were into everything else on this show but this match. Let's go back to the start of the show though, because this show started with the King of the Ring final. I thought they were going to start with the Queen of the Ring final. Uh,
Yeah,
this surprised me. Randy Orton comes out, and this crowd is red hot right away. They are loud, and they
right.
stayed loud pretty much.
This was the part of the show where you really notice how sometimes these overseas crowds they got that different vibe than the American crowds.
Randy comes out, drops a couple of F bombs on his way to the ring. They gave Randy Orton pyro on this show, which I thought was insane. So anyway, Randy comes out, does his normal spiel. His entrance takes forever. I mean, forever and a day.
There again, the show is too long. All of these shows have the entrances are too long. I don't care how big a superstar you are. If it takes you 4 minutes to get to the ring, that's bullshit.
And then Cody Rhodes comes out. And folks, if you thought Randy Orton's entrance was long, that looked like a whirlwind sprint in comparison to what Cody
Right.
was about to do.
And this sing along with the theme song is a new fan phenomena that I am not a fan of. I'm getting really
It,
sick and tired of it. It takes up a lot of time.
in
The key,
AEW, it's fine only because AEW entrances are shorter anyway. Even their long entrances aren't this long. So what Cody does that pissed me off is he goes to his pyro point, does his pose, and then he walks back to the top of the ramp. And I said, "You cocksucker. I couldn't fucking believe this motherfucker on this goddamn show." And you people know how I feel about these Saudi shows anyway. I hate these fucking Saudi shows with a passion. And this one was particularly egregious in that every entrance was too long.
Yes.
Cody Rhodes was perhaps the most egregious because he took forever. And then him and Randy Orton proceeded to have a very good 20-minute match
Right.
that
You ever hit
ended.
the fast forward during the ring entrances?
I did today.
I did too last night for these two guys. I definitely did. I also did it for the main event.
Uh,
Absolutely.
During Cody's entrance, I said, Jesus fucking Christ, Cody, hurry up before proceeding to fast forward.
Now, if I missed
I,
out on any brilliant commentary from Michael Cole or Corey Graves,
it was
I'll
Wade
have to live
Barrett, but
without it.
it was Wade Barrett, but you get the point.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Wade Barrett. Pardon, I owe Mr. Barrett an apology there.
I don't think Wade Barrett watches this show. If he does, I owe you money. Uh,
Well, I
anyway,
doubt very much too, but you know,
but you'd take my money if he did. So anyway, these two had a pretty damn good match, all things considered. I thought this finish was fucking stupid.
you notice that they seem to be definitely teasing a heel turn for Randy.
They're teasing a heel turn for both of these guys. What the hell are you talking about? Both of these guys are going to turn.
The only one that is the thing I think about Cody Rhodes' turn and heel is that when asked about it, he adamantly denies it. So, which means absolutely nothing, right?
He also adamantly denied that he was leaving AEW when his contract expired.
Sure. I mean, 99% of the time when the wrestler opens their mouth and talks, they're working you in some way. Even if it's a shoot, they're working you.
So anyway, Randy grabs a chair. The ref takes it from him, and it's all a ruse anyway because Randy takes the turnbuckle pad off in the opposite corner.
Right.
And they kind of fight in the corner for a second, trying to smash each other's head into the damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
Before Randy takes the most awkward, like, side bump into the top turnbuckle, falls into a crossroads basically, and that's the match. Cody wins, cuts a heel promo afterward. I tell you what, both of these guys are turning heel.
Yeah.
Why you would turn Randy Orton heel at this point, I don't have a damn clue.
Well, even when he's a baby face, he never really stops being heelish, if you know what I mean.
I don't know what they're doing with these guys. I
Maybe they
listen.
don't know.
I would believe that.
Maybe instead of laying off all these wrestlers, maybe they need to get some new writers. Maybe they need better writers. You know, maybe the problem is not the talent. Maybe it's the writers.
Well, this match was very good. I still think both these guys are turning
Yes.
heel.
I thought it was great.
I do not think Randy should turn heel. I think a Cody Rhodes heel turn would be cool for the first 6 weeks, and then we'd get really sick of it really quick. So I don't know. He hasn't been a babyface that long. Because remember, his entire first run in WWE, except for the last year and a half, pretty much, he was a babyface or he was a heel. So
Yeah.
then we had a match that was shockingly good. Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. This match was
Oh,
better than it had any damn business being.
I tell you what, my takeaway for the night is the biggest surprise of the night was the performance of Raquel Rodriguez. She really shone in this match. I hadn't seen her. She hasn't wrestled this well in quite a long time. Since probably not since she's come to the main roster. And even though she lost, she looked good. Her stock is rising. I thought
And
standout performance of the night in a lot of ways.
she's had some good matches on Raw recently as well. So, Raquel's stock's kind of been moving up lately. And I wonder with Liv being out if she's kind of going to take that spot. I know we said that's
Yeah.
probably not going to happen, but it kind of looks like it is. For
Yeah.
better or for worse. I don't
I
think
wonder if
she's
they'll try to move her into the feud uh
Roxanne
with the Bella
with Nikki.
Nikki. I'm
It'll
sorry.
probably end up it'll probably end up being Roxanne that gets that match. I have no fucking idea. Um Speaking of Roxanne, she tried to interfere in this match and got her ass kicked.
Yes, you sure did.
She got a garbage can flung over her head and whacked with a kendo stick. That looked like it hurt. Her ears probably still ringing. Uh
Yeah.
and Rhea gets the win. Rhea was like hurt in this match, I think. I'd heard
Looked
that
like it.
she got banged up. She's set to kick off Raw tomorrow, apparently. So we'll see just how bad it is. But all the best to her. Her and Raquel had a very good match here. Um, I will say, if Rhea Ripley is out for an extended period of time, they are in a lot of trouble because that would mean both Rhea and Liv are out, and that's two of their best female promos just gone. Um, right there.
Yeah.
And then we had Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn, and if they didn't do everything in their damn power to bury Karrion Kross here,
I'll tell you what, it was a good match, though. He looked good, and I hope that I understand his contract is almost over, and we have no idea what's going to happen then. I hope that the company takes notice of the fan reaction, not
if
just
you're him
online,
though,
but in person. He is really starting to get over.
if you're Karrion Kross, are you not telling these people to go fuck themselves? If you're him,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you're not. Are you not telling WWE go fuck yourself? Goodbye.
But they'd be crazy to let him go. I
They
really,
would be, but if you're him, he'd almost be crazy to stay.
I know.
Because guess what? He could go to Japan or pretty much anywhere, and he's going to
Yes.
be equally over,
I
if not
can't,
more so.
I don't think he should waste his time with AEW, if you know what I mean.
Well,
That
here's the thing:
almost would seem like a step down.
he could go to AEW and be their top guy, probably. Well, not their top guy. He's not better than Osprey, but you know,
I think that it's sad the way some guys that have so much talent just never
you know what's
seen.
crazy to me?
Yes, what's that?
In 2010, he would have been like the third biggest star on the show, behind Cena and Orton, and maybe Hunter. Now he's like a mid card guy.
Time is everything, isn't it?
Then we had a match that was nowhere near as good as it should have been, unfortunately. Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. The wrong guy won here.
Yeah, I thought this was going to steal the show, and boy, was I wrong. I was wrong.
This match was fine. There's nothing abundantly wrong with it except for the amount of interference we got, including Hikuleo showing up finally.
Right. It felt like a SmackDown match, didn't it?
Well, that was a theme for the rest of this show. Uh, it felt like an episode of SmackDown.
We've got so many Samoan relatives coming back and showing up, and ones that have never been there before, ones I've never heard of.
Well, anyway, Solo Sikoa is the United States champion. I thought this was an awful decision.
Yes, I agree. It was way, way too early to take the title off of Jacob Fatu. Way
Shitload
too
of
early.
interference. I understand he'll probably win it back. I get it, but this is
It'd be
stupid.
nice if they rectified the situation early, like this
They
week.
they won't. They're pre-taping SmackDown tomorrow. You know that, right?
No, I didn't realize that. But now,
That's why
boy,
Raw is starting early.
boy, does that ever smack of the 1990s?
Yeah.
Sure
So,
does.
as we talked about, SmackDown is going back to 2 hours. SmackDown will be pre-taped on Friday. It will be taped tomorrow night. That is why Raw is starting 2 hours earlier than usual because they're going to do a 4 hour show tomorrow. And where are they tomorrow?
But will they do go back to a live show then?
Huh?
What's their at 2 hour? Will they eventually go back to a live broadcast?
Next week, yes.
Okay, I assume and then they'll have a 2 hour SmackDown, and then that's probably where they do tape some of the other shows, like their little 1 hour internet shows that I can never remember the name. What used to be like Jacked and the Sunday night shows and that stuff back in the day.
So they're in Pittsburgh tomorrow where they'll tape Raw and SmackDown. They're going to tape NXT on Tuesday because they do NXT live pretty much every week now.
Right.
Um, so here's the stupid thing about them doing this. The reason they're taping SmackDown is because Friday is the 4th of July. That's why
Right.
they're taping SmackDown. But the stupid part of this is they're still going to do NXT live on Tuesday. I get it. It's not the 4th, but attendance is still going to be low because it's the week of the 4th.
Exactly. Yeah. They should just, if they want to do a live show, they should just do it back in Florida at their little, what you call it, their little studio there.
Anyway, then we had Jade Cargill and Asuka. This match was fucking awful.
I tell you, Oscar's one of my all-time favorites, and I hate to see this happen. And Jade is one I've been a big fan of as an attraction, as a potential star. If they can work with the right kind of people to, hide her weaknesses and accentuate her strengths. And this was not that match.
This was the shits.
I was so disappointed because I love both of these wrestlers, and boy, I felt like this should have been. I don't know. I'm not saying this match shouldn't happen. Maybe this match shouldn't happen yet.
Who knows?
No,
Anyway,
maybe.
Jade Cargill is going to wrestle Tiffany Stratton. That match is a recipe for fucking disaster.
Yeah, well, I certainly hope she wins, but at the same time, it doesn't.
You don't.
Although I like Jade Cargill, but that doesn't elevate the status of the woman's title any higher. And it makes the WWE woman's title look less important than the AEW women's title. That's just my editorial opinion right there.
Well, that's been my opinion for a while. Well, the problem with the WWE is if you're comparing their women's division, AEW's women's division is just stupid stacked. Like their women's division is nonsense for how loaded it is.
They've got too much talent.
And they don't have a bad female wrestler on that roster, I don't think. So like, you know,
Well, they got rid of the dead girl. What was her name?
Abaddon.
Yeah,
Anyway, Jade could go back to AEW tomorrow, and I can't say I'd be too upset about it. Uh,
yeah,
anyway, then we had the main event, and for two guys verging on 50,
right. I thought it was interesting too. I didn't. I had not remembered the statistics going in. They went into this match 8-8 with one draw.
yep, this match was good. It was not great.
Yep.
At no point did you think CM Punk was winning this match. At no point did they make you think Punk was going to win.
They talked. They tried to put over the idea that there was some kind of psychology going on, that Cena was being moved by the crowd, that he was tempted to go back to being a good guy. But I never bought into it. That part of it didn't seem convincing. As soon as the referee got bumped, my thought was, oh boy, here we go again. This is like watching the finish on Monday Night Raw. Next thing you know, there's going to be a half a dozen people and at least one more referee, if not more.
And
Was
sure
that
enough,
right?
that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Here comes Seth and crew, and they get killed, all of
Right.
them,
Which
slowly
made no
after.
sense.
And then Charles Robinson starts running down finally, and then he gets killed.
Right.
Cena killed him.
Yes. That was a hell of a bump on little Nate there.
That should have been a disqualification.
Sure. And a fine.
He can kill the guy.
I know. But he'd be the guy to do though. He's taken bumps in the past, you know. So
Well, all Charles Robinson knows how to do is be a good referee and take stupid bumps he shouldn't be taking. And
right.
this was a bump he should not have taken.
Yeah.
Because he was running full fucking speed, and then out of nowhere, here comes John Cena with the meanest looking shoulder check you've ever seen in your life, and Charles Robinson flies 10 feet in the air.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Anyway, John Cena won.
What a shot. Oh, mentioned the handshake and the look into the camera. The recapping the Rock storyline with the look over the shoulder. Nobody bought it, and that's what. But they want us to believe that CM Punk was stupid enough to believe it, but nobody in the crowd believed it. This is why it wasn't a great finish.
Anyway, the show goes off the air with Cena holding the belt, looking over his shoulder, and
One of the highlights I will say is that after the King and Queen of the Ring finals, you notice they don't put the crown on their head anymore. But I think that's because they were in Saudi Arabia. I think if a civilian put a crown on their head in Saudi Arabia, they could be subject to some kind of a civil fine or even arrest. This speculating, but uh, no, I sounds like I'm joking, but I'm halfway serious about that. It'd be worth looking into. But the part that you hated that I liked is we got to see Brother Byron. Brother
Bye.
Byron back in the saddle, and he also did very well on the post show, looking as professional. Hey, I know you don't like the guy, but I tell you what, he's better than that guy they got doing backstage interviews in AEW. You know,
Marvez.
Marvez, yeah, he's 10 times better than Marvez. You got to admit it. He's
Well,
more
he's not
handsome
better.
too. He's
He
more handsome or gentleman. Brother
well,
Byron, let's hear it. For he needs to get some merch out. I want to see an action figure and a T-shirt.
you'd buy it too. That's the
I
shitty
I
part.
would, and I'd wear it I'd wear it on here just to piss you off.
Well, he's not better than Renee Young or
Oh,
Pacat or
of
whatever.
course not. Absolutely, I don't think anybody is.
Yeah, that's kind of an unfair comparison. Um, you know what? I don't think he's better than Kathy Kelly now that I think about it. But
Well, Kathy Kelly was the one. That's the one doing the show, with the post show with him, correct?
well, no, that was Jackie Redmond.
Okay, but Jackie Redmond, didn't she used to do? Was it hockey or basketball?
She still does hockey.
Okay, all right, that's what I'm thinking of.
The woman's crazy. Her winter schedule is insane because she'll do Raw on a Monday.
Yeah,
She'll go cover a hockey game on Tuesday, and then, or she'll cover a hockey game Friday night and then be at a pay per view on Saturday and then do another hockey game on Sunday.
that's
Huh?
amazing. Well, we were talking before the show. Michael Cole, 58 years old. He does 3 hours of Raw plus all the prep and everything. Flies to Saudi Arabia on Wednesday. Covers their opening show there in the afternoon, which I think was a couple hours. 3 hours of SmackDown, and then he did Night of the Champions. This guy's 58, and he's doing that kind of schedule. Plus, and he'll be back doing Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. The guy is I tell you what, I don't care what anybody says. He's going to go down with Gordon Soley, Jim Ross, Bob Caudle, as one of the greatest of all time announcers.
The fact that you didn't mention Tony Schiavone in that conversation is
Well, I didn't get around to him yet. He'd be a little bit lower on the list, but I do think Tony. I think he's definitely past his prime as far as what they. That's probably why they got him off of commentary and doing the interviews, and that's no knock on him. But for a guy who's like 60 years old and has like 8, 9 kids, I'd say he's looks pretty good.
well, we did get an update on Pat McAfee this week.
Yes.
I'm trying to find the tweet.
He said he's too tired.
He is tired, and do you blame him?
No,
If you
works a
had
lot
his
of
schedule, I
jobs.
think you'd be tired too.
Yeah.
Hold on. I hate Twitter now. Elon has completely ruined this platform.
All right. Going forward now, been a few weeks until we got our next big show, correct?
Yes. So the next big show is that weekend where everything is
Yes, we get
insane.
Saturday night's main event, the 40th edition, and AEW All In Texas, both on Saturday, the 12th. And then WWE Evolution. Is that an evening show or afternoon? Do you know?
That is an evening show.
All right. I'm assuming we'll be recording late Sunday then and trying to cover it all. Oh,
Yes.
also, there is a Great American Bash, but that's been moved over to NXT. This counter
Correct.
programming thing is really getting crazy, isn't it?
This counter programming thing is getting counterproductive.
It is, it is. It hasn't been this bad since back in the days of Vince McMahon.
Yeah, dude, but it made sense back then when they did it
Yes,
against WCW.
correct, because they were buying up TV stations and local
They
time. This
have
had
no
nothing to,
reason. They
yeah,
have no reason to counter program AEW.
no, none,
None.
none,
AEW is no imminent threat to them.
not even close. You would think
Now,
if they can work with a company as small as TNA, should be able to work with just about anybody.
now, here's the thing. Do I think it makes any sense whatsoever for them to counter program the way they are? No. Will I say that I'm happy that evolution is happening again? Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, I'm hoping the card is not a disaster because that's certainly a possibility right now.
sure.
Just just because
They've got a lot of women to choose from. We also have a new on SmackDown. We have a new women's U.S. title holder, and Julia
yes, Julia won
defeated.
the women's United States title on Friday on SmackDown.
Yep,
Um, Russ, we both really like Julia. This feels really fast.
sure does.
I don't know. Okay,
She
here's
seems to
my
be
thing.
moving ahead of some others that have been there a lot longer.
But here's my thinking behind this. I don't know this for sure. I'm not reporting this. This is just my opinion. My opinion is they're probably fast tracking her a little bit because they keep having people get hurt.
Right.
And they're like,
That,
somebody's got to get a push here because fuck.
yeah, exactly.
Now, the only problem they have is that Julia, she's good on the mic, but people will bitch that her English ain't great.
Yeah. What country is she from? I forget.
I think she's French, isn't she? Am I crazy? She was born in London, but I know she didn't live there very long.
All right.
Oh no, she's from Japan. Her family moved to Japan.
Gotcha. Well, looking forward, I think that Io Sky versus Asuka could be a good match.
Yeah, Io Sky and Asuka could be great. I
Have
don't
they
know what's
wrestled
gonna.
before though? I can't remember. Just
Yeah,
I know they haven't tag teams.
yeah, they've wrestled, I think once or twice in NXT. But here's the thing: I do think that there is a very good chance if Rhea's out any significant period of time, they're gonna push Stephanie Vaquer through the moon. They're gonna have to. I understand Becky Lynch is back, but I don't think Becky Lynch is back for very long. I think Becky's gonna go away again.
Well, sure. She's older, got family.
And you can
Makes
tell
sense.
I don't think Becky's necessarily in like just watching it, I don't think Becky's necessarily enjoying this run too much. Just kind of the vibe I get.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe she's just being a good heel, who knows? But
Right.
outside of the stuff with Lyra, like what is she really doing?
Yeah, not too much right now.
Speaking of Lyra, it seems like her push is dead.
Yeah, for some reason, that doesn't quite make sense.
Uh I don't get it.
No,
I think Lyra's really good.
I agree. Totally. Yeah.
I don't know. I hope Pat McAfee's back soon. I hope he gets rested up. I know some people on the internet this week were being assholes toward him after he said he was tired.
Well, gee whiz, maybe they don't ever get tired. Good for them if they never get tired. Some people are just dicks.
Yeah. Well, Uncle Russ, what did you think the best match on this show was? I thought it was probably either Rhea and Raquel or Randy and Cody. I mean,
I I think the best match of the show was the Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez.
I really think they should have let Karrion Cross beat Sami Zayn, if for
Oh
no
yeah,
other reason than the fans will begin to get hostile if this guy doesn't get pushed soon.
right,
It happened, and they always say, "Oh, that won't happen," until it does,
right.
and then
How many times have they blown something like that in the past and they never recover? Oh, also, I just read today for anybody who interested, Otis has been taken off of the active status. Not dismissed, but apparently he's not going to be on TV anymore. Weren't using him much anyway.
where'd you read that?
On the internet, the most reliable of sources. Something really, really good, like Sportskeeda or some other internet darling. Some clickbait bastard.
Um, don't say that in the wrong order.
Right.
Um,
You find
oh,
it?
Otis is hurt.
Oh, okay. Well, the story did not say that. There you go. You see how even when they give you something accurate, they still mislead you. I know I mentioned Sportskeeda. It was not that company. So I didn't
Well,
mean.
Sportskeeda gets shit wrong all
Oh,
the
I
fucking
tell you what,
time.
I don't even open their shit up anymore. I mean, they're like the Weekly World News of wrestling journalism. They just literally make shit up off the top of their head.
What can we say this week?
That's
Dave
right.
Meltzer shit his pants live on it. I
That's
swear
right.
that was a headline.
Yeah.
I swear they put that out one week. I think
Oh, I know. I know.
good for it, but who cares? Uh, anyway,
That's about
I
it.
thought Night of I thought Night of Champions was like a C plus show. I was not.
Yeah. I would that's yeah. Unfortunately, my hopes for Jade Cargill were dashed. I hope that they can regroup and figure out how to use her better. I really feel like pushing her into the world title is not a good thing. And I think it's not going to be good for her career long term. And I'm saying that as a fan.
I've never seen you so disappointed to see someone you like win.
I know because it looked like shit, to be quite honest with you. Unfortunately, you got to tell the truth, right?
Well, even Michael Cole at the end of the match was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck was that?
Yeah. Something looked a little wonky about that finish.
Well, she went for okay. For anybody that didn't see it, I know we're harping on this Jade Cargill match. She hits Jaded on Asuka, and the
Right.
move from the moment she picked Asuka up was fucked up.
Yeah, it's just like she didn't have the strength. She looked a little psychologically rattled by the crowd, and she looked a little winded, possibly even hurt a little bit. So, and
Oh, who fucking knows?
I was surprised she looked that blown up because it didn't seem like that long a match.
Well, they do have another pay per view between now and SummerSlam.
Sure.
I would not be surprised if they get that belt off Tiffany
Yeah. We'll see.
and put it on somebody who could maybe give Jade a little bit more help.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
That we will. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us. We will see you next week. Until then, Damon, play our fucking music.